thing. But don't let anger.
But if we don't turn our cheek, then our anger is gonna burst out.
Right, but see, there's where the balance comes in, right? Let's say you come and hit
Trust me, I like what I read right there.
Right, good. That's what I'm saying.
But the thing is this though, I don't see people applying.
That's the whole issue,
And
right?
And when I say that,
right,
both Muslims or Christian,
yeah,
or whoever it is, I don't see that applying. But
Right.
in this case,
so see, Islam
I'm seeing
is
it from the Prophet.
exactly.
side.
The thing is, Islam is like the medicine, right?
Uh-huh.
I can give you the medicine, but if you don't take it, it don't do you no good, right?
Totally.
So that's the thing. I mean, this is the advice from the Prophet, but it's up to me and you to implement it, right?
Right.
Now, when you talk about turning the other cheek, there's difference, right? One is you come and hit me, and I let anger get the best of me, and I start pounding on you and kicking
Right,
you.
you can respond,
Right.
and respond with the same.
Exactly, right? So if you let anger take over you, then you become the loser, right?
Totally,
right?
yeah.
But I could restrain you and be like, nah, bro, like you ain't gonna violate me, right?
Totally, yeah.
So this is the Islamic way.
With peace, though, yeah.
With peace,
Right,
exactly,
totally,
right? So you don't really turn the other cheek because then they can keep slapping you, right?
Gotcha.
But you don't let your anger respond with the same evil,
Gotcha.
right? That's the beautiful message of Islam. Now, there are Muslims that don't act on it. I know they're Christians that don't act on Christianity, there are Jews that don't act on Christianity or Judaism, but that's those people and their faults. But you have to judge a message by what the message is, not by what the messenger does, right? So somebody comes to you and talks about, keeping the world in a good balance, but maybe that person's a bad person. But that doesn't mean you're like, forget taking care of the environment, right?
Right.
Because you got to worry about the bigger picture, right?
And is this like a main thing that it was like to gain paradise?
Yes.
Like,
so
that
part
was
of
the main
that,
thing? Do not get angry.
don't get angry because see, in not
But there's
getting
a lot
angry,
of people that they don't get angry.
Right.
Still, they could be like lusting,
Right,
doing
right.
adultery,
So-
and not be angry.
that's true, right? But this is one part of the message, right? So one issue is to control one's anger. And when you control one's anger, a lot of things will get
Totally,
better,
I
right? Right?
totally agree with you.
But that's not the whole message,
Right.
That's why I said this is one piece of it,
So,
right?
so me asking you,
ahead.
how will you gain paradise?
So the how you get first thing is your belief, right? You got to believe in one creator,
Right.
If you don't believe in the creator that created you,
Right.
then think of it this way, right? Let's say you hire somebody, you got a company, right? And then you pay them, you pay their salary, you pay their expenses, you pay their gas, you pay everything. And at the end of the month, when they've done their work, they take that the product and they go give it to your competitor. Right? You're gonna be like, what? I'm gonna fire you, right? I pay for everything, and then so it's the same thing. God created us, He gave us life, and then you go worship a monkey, or you go worship a statue, right?
So let's keep it in the area of worshiping the invisible God.
The creator, right?
The creator,
invisible
the
God,
invisible
I'm with
God,
you, the
yeah.
one creator,
No,
right?
No
No
just
statues.
like the creator of everything.
I'm with you.
Right?
Good. That's the first
so
thing.
without putting names, without putting
Right?
Islam, Christianity, whatever.
Let's take it at the top
from
level.
there, and from
Okay, from there. So when you believe in that one creator, right? You gotta know what that creator's message is. Right? So we believe as Muslims, we believe in Abraham and Moses and Jesus and Muhammad.
So the first message came to the
Adam.
Jewish people.
No, with Adam.
With Adam.
Let's take it back, even before the
Let's
Jewish
take it
people.
back, let's take it
Way
back.
back. So Adam was on righteousness, right? He believed in one God, he did everything right. From the later generations, from him, people started worshiping idols. Right? Then Noah came. Right? Noah brought the same message. Told people, look, worship one God, right? Then with Noah, people went back to the prophet right way, right? Then people would go off, the people who were called Ben Israel, the Jewish people, and they would get prophets like Moses and David and Ishmael. So we believe in all of those, right? So as a path to paradise,
the message came for those people, for the Israelites.
exactly, right? That's the people that were around. But every nation got a prophet, not just the Israelites. It's not just one chosen people of God. Everybody's a chosen person of God, right? So in the Quran it tells us that every nation received a prophet. So what is the key to getting paradise now, right? So belief in one creator, right? And to follow the prophet that was sent to you. So if you were there in Moses' time, follow Moses. If you were there in David's time, follow David. If you were there in Jesus' time, follow Jesus. Like we believe in Jesus. We want to follow. But the problem is people started to corrupt the message. Right? Today, if you look at the Bible, it's been corrupted.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You are on it, bro. Right? So now in our time we have the Quran. This is the final revelation. Uncorruptible. How? Right? One, we memorize the Quran. From the time of the Prophet till our time, Hundreds and thousands of people. Go ahead.
And I read that. My problem is this though.
Go ahead.
Okay? Trust me. I think
I'm with you.
I think we're connecting.
We're connecting. Yeah.
But I will tell you where I'm like, what my difference
I
is,
like it.
and I'll tell you why.
Good.
Okay?
Go for it.
So, I like reading history.
Good.
okay?
Me too.
So I look back and
Right.
like when the prophets came,
Yeah.
the last prophet, and let's
Muhammad.
say the last prophet, you know,
Right.
which you know, let's say from my perspective, okay?
I'm with you.
I will see the last prophet to be Jesus.
Okay.
Muhammad, I don't know much about him.
You should
I know
learn.
some history. You know, I know a few things here.
Good, good.
So I don't discredit it.
Okay.
Just take that, okay? I don't discredit it, but I also don't embrace it yet.
Good.
You know,
Think
just
about
because, Yeah, it's just kind of like okay, like for example.
So let me show you something real quick. This is the Bible, right?
But I have, like I say,
So
it's always been present in my life in various ways.
this is the advice from Jesus, right? Be completely loyal to God, our God. Their nations.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
Before you read this, who wrote this?
The Bible?
No, what you're reading right now. In the Deuteronomy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the Bible, right?
So who wrote this?
Oh, in Manchester,
This
that's where I
book.
studied.
This is your Bible,
I
right?
literally lived in Mossad, which
Well, it's
is
not
The-
the Bible.
I mean, yeah. This is the numbered edition,
No, but
contemporary
this
language.
book, the book of the Deuteronomy, because this is the Torah, the first
Right,
one of the
right.
books of the
This,
Torah.
this is the Old Testament,
Right,
right?
right. So who wrote the Deuteronomy?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question.
You know what I'm
right?
saying?
Yeah, yeah.
No, the reason why I ask is sometimes
Right,
like,
right.
we
No,
read
that's good.
stuff and we're like, man, who wrote? Because we don't know the authors of it. Or,
I agree. I agree with
I
you,
know
right?
There's even sometimes like, and don't get this.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
We're humans. We're imperfect,
Right,
right?
right.
Okay. If we're imperfect, that means that even if we learn how to say certain things,
Right?
if it passed through generations, things might change because we're not.
You're right. Right. So let's think about this, right? So do you believe that there was a Bible?
What do you mean by that? When you say
Meaning,
there was a
do you think there was a revelation given to Jesus?
Bible? There is a revelation, yeah, of course.
Okay, good.
Jesus was giving a message to.
Excellent,
yeah.
excellent. Okay,
Yeah.
so a part of that message that we have today is what we are given as a Bible, right? Now, I agree with you that there's corruption that's coming in,
Yeah.
right? But a part of the message of Jesus is that there would be a comforter coming after him, right?
Right.
So now, if you look at the Prophet Muhammad, right? Now, was he a prophet or not? Like, let's talk about that, right? A man in the desert, right? 14 plus 100 years ago,
Right.
right? He brings a message that till today is unmatched in its grammatical amazement, right? If you read Arabic grammar, it goes back to the Quran. How does a man who can't read or write,
I heard about that.
right?
That
So
sounds cool.
think about this,
Yeah,
right? Then a man in that time that comes and gives you news of what happened. Like people came and asked, well, why was Moses in Egypt when he's from Ben Israel that are in Sham?
Gotcha.
And then the revelation would come from Allah, right? To answer that because Joseph, he went to Egypt in his time, right? So how would he know all that? And a man who would put prophecies of things that would happen, battles between Romans and Persians that hadn't happened yet, and who would win, and that would come true, right? And a man who would come and talk about the signs of the Day of Judgment that would come afterwards, right? A man who would split the moon, right? Now this is something you need to read about.
Let me stop. Yeah, let
Go
me
ahead.
stop you right
Go
there.
for it.
What do you mean by that?
Split the moon, right? Hey, the people said we want to see a sign. Moon splits.
Well, how do you know that happened?
Right. It's a good question, right? So we got historic documentation, which is called hadith, right? That were
Is that
checked.
part of the Quran thing? or-
No, it's not,
What
right?
is
The hadith are the sayings and the actions and what happened during the lifetime of the Prophet that are recorded and checked,
But
right?
let me ask you something.
Go for it.
Could it be possible that maybe that was
It could be, right? So let's talk about that. Then you have Indian history in Sanskrit from Hindus who had no connection with Arabs
Okay.
that saw the same event
witnessed
and
it.
recorded it. Then you have European historic events which talked about seeing at the same historic time. Now you could fabricate maybe one of them, right?
Yeah.
But how did all these different cultures in different areas see the same thing at
What
the
was
same time?
What was the moon split for?
It was a sign.
Sign
to
for
sh-
what?
To the prophet or the prophet, right? People said, so let us see a sign, right?
Well, a sign for what? To see that you're a prophet of God?
Yes, exactly, right? So now
But
you
see,
have.
that,
go ahead.
That's what my problem is. Because like
Why?
people always ask for signs, right? They come
Right.
up to Jesus, give us a sign to know
Right.
that you're the one. Give us
Right.
a sign. So he's like, and then Jesus told him, he's like, you ask for signs, but none should be given to you, but the sign of Jonah.
Right.
You know, because people were always like asking, they want to see wonders, they want to
Right.
touch. You know, that's why they
But
built
Jesus
idols.
had his own miracles, right? Like he walked on water, right? So those are why. They were to show the people that he's not just out there trying to make something up,
Right,
right?
right.
So the Prophet Muhammad had not just that one, right? But this one, why I mentioned it, because you have different cultures that that were so far apart from each other.
Right.
Like Hindus could not have gone to the Arabs and learned this at that time. They didn't even have trade.
Totally, yeah.
Right? And you can
Yeah, I don't know how
today.
it happened. Trust me, I'm
Right?
still like kind of like.
Good. So that's what I'm saying. You got to read about these things.
But there is some stuff that's kind of, it does seem kind of like sci-fi, science, like
Right.
like
Sure.
Star Wars type of thing.
Right, but think about this, right?
Like, for example, when Muhammad was taken to the cave and there were
Right,
two
right.
angels and the heart was taken out.
It's not quite like that, but let me.
you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Like, some of that was like-
I know, right?
Yeah.
But that's the thing, right? Like a lot of what we see as reality today,
Yeah.
if we talk about somebody, 3,000 years ago, they would see it as sci-fi, right? A lot of what happened back 3,000 years ago, if we think about it today, we think it's sci-fi.
It's true. I'll
Right?
give you that. I'll
So
give you
that's
that.
what I'm saying, right?
I'll give you that.
I got
I'll
you.
give that.
Right? So
Yeah.
the issue is, if you leave all those other miracles aside,
Yeah.
just the Quran itself is enough of a miracle.